At the edge of a long mountain road, there was a village no one talked about. Travelers passed near it, but very few ever stopped. Not because the village was dangerous, but because something about it felt uncomfortable. Daniel arrived there just before sunset. He had been traveling for days, running from noise, stress, and a life that never slowed down. In the city, Daniel felt invisible, surrounded by people, yet always alone. When he entered the village, the first thing he noticed was the silence. No laughter, no arguments, no music. People were walking, working, living, but none of them looked at each other. A woman passed him with a basket of bread. Her eyes stayed on the ground. Two men crossed paths on the road. They didn't nod. They didn't speak. They didn't even glance. Daniel felt uneasy. That night, he stayed at a small inn. The owner handed him the key without a word. No smile, no questions, only silence. Daniel couldn't sleep. The village felt heavy, as if something invisible pressed against his chest. The next morning, curiosity pushed him outside. He stopped a young man on the road. "Excuse me," Daniel said softly. "Why does nobody here look at each other?" The man froze. Slowly, he raised his head, but his eyes looked past Daniel, not at him. "You should leave," the man whispered, "before nightfall." Daniel felt a chill. Instead of leaving, he walked deeper into the village. At the far end, he found an old man sitting beneath a tree. Unlike the others, the old man was still and waiting. Daniel approached him. "Sir," he said, "I need to understand. Why does no one look at each other here?" The old man smiled gently. "Because," he said, "we learned what happens when we do." He invited Daniel to sit. Long ago, the old man explained, this village was loud and busy, just like any other. People judged each other, compared lives, measured success. They smiled on the outside and suffered inside. Over time, they realized something painful. Every time they looked at someone else, their minds filled with noise, envy, fear, regret. So they made a quiet promise to stop looking outward and start looking inward. At first, it felt lonely, the old man said. But then, our minds became quiet. Daniel listened carefully. "But isn't this isolation?" he asked. The old man shook his head. "No, it is freedom." He stood up and looked directly into Daniel's eyes. "Can you stay present," he asked, "when there is nothing to compare yourself to?" Daniel didn't answer. That evening, something strange happened. For the first time in years, Daniel's thoughts slowed. No past, no future, only now. When night fell, the village felt lighter, peaceful. The next morning, Daniel packed his bag. As he walked away, he noticed something unexpected. A woman briefly looked up and smiled, just for a second. That was enough. Daniel returned to the city changed, not silent like the village, but calmer. He no longer searched for himself in other people's eyes because he had finally learned how to see himself.